Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shareha Adriann, Scientist Shareha, just taking some moments this evening, this early afternoon, to be able to go over a couple of things. And the title of this lovely video, and I hope that you all can hear me, but the title of this video is going to be, do you really understand your assignment? So give me just 1 second. Let me just go ahead and pop over really quickly to the group. I would hate to go through this whole spiel and then you all can't see me and you have no idea. Yes, you can see it. Perfect. All right. So in looking at the Sighience E-Learning and Grant Program, a lot of times, oh my goodness, come back to me. Okay, there we go. A lot of times, students will kind of blow through the assignment. So last week, you probably saw me talk about a couple of different things. Hold on 1 second. Where is I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So yes, a lot of students will go through the assignments and they'll miss certain things about it. They're not entirely sure what we're looking for. And while I can't really give you that much of a cheat sheet, I really want to at least kind of touch on the common mistakes or maybe some of the frequently asked questions of the science assignments. I will be going through these one by one later on, but for now, I at least want to go ahead and have this information available for you so that you all can see and know the different things that are going on with the Sighience e-learning program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me just 1 second so that we can talk about it. We can pull up the different assignments and so forth. Let me pull it up for you. Come on. Pulling up. Oh my goodness, there's so many of us here. Oh, there I am. Okay, so I'm pulling up my profile for you now, and then I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of the assignments so that you can see them. Feel free to comment, below, say hi, make any requests or ask any questions along the way. I will do my absolute best to make sure that I can answer those questions for you. And then if you want to jump in and ask me any questions, you're more than welcome to tap in and come live with us as well. All right. All right, so let me just go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, entire screen. You want to go ahead and share it. There you go. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen at this point. I'm going to go ahead and jump right over to the science assignment. So this, believe it or not, we actually have a full and complete CRM system with all the bells and whistles, and we're constantly adding different things there. But as you can see here, this is what would be, in my case, my profile. Here, we have like our science ID number that is listed there accordingly, and then it has some information about the students in general. And then we'll go all the way down to the bottom to where the assignment information is. And if you saw me present the video with Natasha and Nayana, then more than likely you will have seen me talk about a couple of different things, or you may recognize this screen. So what this is, never mind the generic information. I'm using this for demonstration purposes, but this is what a full and complete profile really should look like. Where a lot of students are seeming to go wrong, like when you all get to your last assignment, before you can actually enter the Sighience Donor Queue, we actually, as success coaches and scientists, we go in and look for you to see like what you have going on, whether or not you completed all of your assignments properly. Did you follow instructions? Did you forward any emails? Anything weird like that. Those are the different things that are going on. But basically what happens is as soon as that alert goes out, the success coach and the scientist will receive a notification. We will come in, review the information that you have, make sure that everything is correct and true. Right now, as you can see here, we have different categories for that. So the corporate email is where a lot of students tend to go wrong. That's branded short link. A lot of students don't seem to understand like the hows and whys behind that, but it is super important that you all get that right now. Explain that later. The campaign hashtags, most students do pretty well with that. Company name is fine, the short code's fine. The business address, we are seeing some students use addresses that are like personal addresses that are coming to like a residence. or maybe it'll be in different zip codes. And hopefully we'll be able to get someone to be able to come into the group and to talk about some of the different programs that are available, because it does matter where your business address is located. And you definitely do not want to, excuse me, get something that is in a zip code that is, or an area code that is not going to be conducive for you or what it is that you may be trying to accomplish. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk about that later. But as you can see here, business color information, hashtag information, social media information, almost every student tends to get this wrong. And so I definitely want to take some time today to kind of talk about that. And then the wallet information, that is new for Unit 15. We added a unit about cryptocurrency and business owners starting to be able to accept currency other than fiat, which is just your US dollar. And so we did add that after the merchant services or the merchant account topic. We actually have the cryptocurrency or the digital currency assignment as well. So we do ask about the different addresses, because we want you to be able to go and get those addresses, and we show you some pretty cool things once you go inside there. All right. But then as you can see, it's just different pieces of information, different donations, milestones, you know, all that stuff. You guys would never see this, but since I'm back here, I'm kind of showing you some things. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. So like I said, corporate email is one of the ones where our students tend to go wrong. And when it comes to the corporate emails, let me just go ahead and pull it up. All right, so this is how the unit tends to look when it comes to you all. We do have the ability to re-trigger your assignments and so forth. But what we're seeing that's actually occurring right now is they are blowing right past all of this and just slapping a Gmail email out there. And while it may seem very trivial, it's not really important, no big deal, or what have you, it actually is, because you have to think about it from an investment standpoint, from a business standpoint. A corporate email is one of the most cost-effective things that you could ever get. And while it's okay to have like a corporate email or like a backup email, like a so-and-so entity at gmail.com as a backup, but to use it solely like on your business card or your flyer, believe it or not, there are a lot of people that will not take you seriously. They may not say anything to you, or you, excuse me, you may get a call here and there about, you know, your flyer, but believe me when I say I've been doing this for 15 plus years, and a lot of people just, they turn up their noses when they see a Gmail or a Yahoo or whatever. It discredits you a little bit. And so we want to make sure that you're presenting your brand as best and as professional as possible, so that my apologies, so that you can just get the attention and the prospects and the love and the support, especially in the business shower, that you truly deserve. So what happens with the corporate email, for those who may not really know how to set that up, we have some pretty good instructions here in the email. But before I dive into that, somebody just sent me a text message, so I just want to make sure that everyone, hey, okay, everyone's there, perfect. But yeah, so what happens is we give you instructions. Please, when you're going through these courses, take your time and actually click the different links and stuff. When you see these letters in blue, oftentimes that does mean that it is clickable. And as you can see here, if you hover over it, there's a YouTube link that pops up. We put things that we want you to focus on. We put those in blue. Then we talk about different things about like your Google spreadsheet template that we've created for you all to kind of keep up with it, because I know that I can speak from experience. When I'm going in, working with my clients, setting up their corporate emails, it will be like info at corporateentity.com, sales at corporateentity.com, media at corporateentity.com, support at corporateentity.com, orders at corporateentity.com. Like, you really want to just think about yourself as a large corporation. You may not be one now, but we believe that you will absolutely become one later. And knowing that you're going to become one later, you want to go ahead and start setting yourself up and presenting yourself as a corporation and not so much a mom and pop entity. So with that being said, and like I said, as you can see here, it's talking about like what you want to use and how to do it. So this little video right here takes you to where Cpanel is. We have had some students try to use GoDaddy or something like that to be able to do it. Hold on one second. They'll try to use GoDaddy. I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can level it with you all really quickly. But GoDaddy is cool. It's just that it's not the easiest thing to get to. And I wish that Jade, Success Coach Jade, was available today. She's a little under the weather. But yeah, with the GoDaddy, they're not the easiest to find. Jade said something about how like you can go into like a search tab or something inside of GoDaddy and create you can create like or you can put in certain search terms and apparently it will come up for you how to get to the Cpanel. I don't use GoDaddy. I think that as of now, their rates are too high. I use Dynadot like almost all the time. Been using Dynadot for the past 7 to 10 years. Their domains are like $8.95. They automatically come with domain privacy, but I'm also a little bit more advanced when it comes to dealing with the back end side of things. And what I mean by that is I'm used to dealing with Cpanel. I know exactly where to go to create the emails and so forth. But in this instance, it's a little bit different. Okay. But yeah, so I would say use Dynadot if you just want to use GoDaddy because it's something that you're familiar with. You can, like I said, try to get with Jade. I think she's probably in the comments below. We call her Jade the Billionaire. We all have nicknames here at Sighience, but you should be able to speak with her. Then she may be able to say like, check the search tab or pull up Cpanel, and in Cpanel is where you would actually create those emails. So pay attention to the video because the video is there for a reason. If you're going to use Dynadot, what we do with Dynadot is we actually will do with Dynadot, we will get the domains there, but then once we have the domains, we will also go to, there's so many different sites. SiteGround is out there. There's, oh man, HostGator. We use InMotion. So with InMotion hosting, we have different accounts to where we can set up the corporate email straight through there from the Cpanel. And inside of the Cpanel, you should be able to follow those instructions because the video that we provided you in the assignment for that particular email, it looks exactly like it looks now. Like Cpanel is Cpanel is Cpanel, okay? But basically, when you go inside of a Cpanel, and you get to where the file manager is, and there's different file managers, and it'll say like email and spam assassin and SEO or something like the certificates. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but anyway, those security certificates that you're supposed to have, Google will actually penalize you for not having them. We're going to touch on that in marketing science, but basically there will be a button on there that's going to talk about emails, how to set up an email and how to forward the email. So you just want to take some time. You want to go through, you want to use that spreadsheet template. I'm going to go back and show you that template in a minute, but go through that spreadsheet template and write down the corporate emails, where you are forwarding them to. Listen to me carefully, okay? While we may not go into great detail about that in the unit, like I said, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. The last thing that you want to do is to depend too heavily on the corporate email. You always want to create like a Gmail email or something like that on the back end, especially with the different tools that they have. So it can be like corporate name at gmail.com. You can create a forward from your email. So it's your first name at yourcorporation.com. And then from there, you can forward to whatever, like corporation at gmail.com. And when you do corporation at gmail.com, you should be able to pull up that information. And then once you forward it, you will receive a backup to your personal email. But then you also want to pay attention to the Imap instructions that are in in the unit. They're also in the back of the system. And IMAP is where, like, let's say, for example, if you have a CRM system, it's either IMAP or POP3. I use IMAP most of the time. But in that email, when you're using that, what'll happen is it will forward, you will have it as a backup. And once you have that as a backup, then you should be able to also add your IMAP instructions so that you can send and receive from your corporate email. Now, if you're really savvy and you paid attention to my video from a couple weeks ago, you also want to take some time and make sure that your email signature is up to par, your call to actions, your book appointments, your social medias, all of that. I'm going to dive into that later. Again, that's going to be under marketing science, but I just wanted to touch on that because a lot of students aren't really taking it serious, and they are really, that's where they're kind of dropping the ball, is they'll just, even though we specifically explain, let me go ahead and share my screen again. We specifically explain in the course or in the assignment that comes out to you, we specifically say, don't use a Gmail or a Yahoo or a Ymail or a AOL. Don't use those email addresses. Students are still like just blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to hit complete assignment and I'm going to send it in. And then we have to come back as success coaches or scientists and correct you on the email. And then there are actually, believe it or not, there are some students who get a little combative about that. Okay, so we give it to you step by step, but just take your time, look for the Cpanel, watch the video, learn. Once you get your website going, especially if you're going through Dynadot with InMotion hosting, I think like you can, like top to bottom, maybe it's like $20, $30 a month, including the email and the hosting service. Then once we start talking about marketing science and so forth, or different things that you want to do with a domain or your favicon, or like how you want different things to look when somebody shares your link, all of that stuff will come into play, but it starts here. So the whole purpose of Sighience is to usher you all along the way. Some of this stuff is not going to make sense now, but if you trust the process, as you go through different courses, you're going to see like, oh, that's why they had us do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you just have to just kind of go with it. But yes, there are literally investors who will look at that, look at your profile. If they see a Gmail email, believe me when I say, boop, it's either your file is just going to be set up, placed on a shelf, next, or going in the garbage can. So you want to make sure that you know, just really take your time and do this. Don't blow it off as, oh, I've been using this email for all these years and nothing was ever wrong. Then you don't know what you don't know. You don't know how much money you've been missing out on. And we're not just talking about $100,000 here. We're talking about far more than that. So this is one of those things. Take the extra few minutes to go ahead and set up your corporate email, set up your IMAP so that you can send and receive from those corporate emails and then go from there. So the next one that I want to talk about is, wait, you know what? Hold on. Let me turn my camera back on and make sure that I'm answering anyone's questions that they may have. Does anyone have any questions right now based off of what I've gone over thus far? Hold on, let me refresh my screen. I see, hold on. I see lots of people talking. Berta's there. Hey, Berta. Hey, Morgan. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Jay. Nice to see all of you lovely ladies. If anyone is listening or watching this at this point in time while I am live, feel free to ask any questions about what you see me speaking of, just to make sure that I'm answering all of them accordingly. Like I said, I only see about 4 to 6, but I want to make sure that I'm not going too fast for you, okay? All right. So the next one that we're going to talk about is this I'm going to say the branded short links for last because that's like where most of the students tend to go wrong. The other thing, your campaign hashtags. Okay, listen. So with the campaign hashtags, we've been dropping breadcrumbs in the group, and we're so happy to see that students are actually starting to get it. You have your campaign hashtags, but then when you're in the Sighience grant program or the Sighience E-Learning Gran Program, you're actually supposed to stop. I mean, like you can keep using those hashtags. I'm not saying to stop that, but you also want to start to incorporate your student ID as one of your hashtags as well, okay? And so what I mean by that is taking like that pound sign and then that sigh and then that 6-digit number. Let me show you really quickly what it looks like. So let's say, for example, let me see if somebody's going to come to the shop board. Berta, Morgan, Crystal, Jade, if any of you are still listening to me right now, if you could please like maybe post some of your student IDs up as a hashtag, or you can even go look at one of the posts that we put up about the vacation getaway certificates that we were giving away to our students. A lot of students, they went ahead and they put on their hashtag there. Okay, and with that particular hashtag, it's a student ID number. Let me just try to go pick one. Let me see. Hold on. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, so I'm a little nervous, but it's okay. Let me go see what Jade has going on in her account. So Jade's student ID is, come on. Oh my goodness. My connection's a little slow. I'm over here by Black Mountain. But anyway, it's 572407. So when you're up in the donor queue, or when we are looking at your profiles inside of the system, what can, oh, you did? Okay, cool. What we would tend to do in that space, if you are using it as a hashtag, a lot of students don't know this, you put a pound sign before your student ID number. Please use the caps, and then you can see, look, all of these different posts. And it's not just Instagram that we're looking for. It's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's so many different places. But as you can see, what Jade did was she put it on her Clubhouse profile. This is Jade the Billionaire. So I'm going to see if this opens up for us, okay? She put, which is very smart, by the way, Jade, good job on that. She put her Sighience ID number right there on her profile, okay? So as you can see, this is her profile. So if an investor wanted to learn more about Jade and to see how she's presenting herself, what is she talking about on Clubhouse, they now know, oh, Jade's on Clubhouse. Let's go ahead and check her out and see the next time she's live in a room. Let's check her mindset. Let's check her business acumen. Let's check her level of consistency. They're looking for all of this, and they're not going to tell you that they're one of the donors or the sponsors or the investors. They're just going to pop in on you and check you out. That's what vetting is about. But she was really smart by using that Sighience ID number. So now the investors can find her on Clubhouse. Now, hopefully, and I'm sure she is, she's active and presenting or getting on stage on Clubhouse and actually speaking, because she never knows who's going to be following her and tapping in every time she goes live, as they're trying to determine, how much do I want to give to Jade the next time she's up in the donor queue? Do I want to give her $500, or do I want to give her $5,000 as a part of the business shower? Presentation is everything. We give you the nuggets. We give you the play. It's up to you all to run it. And so that's why it's super important. Like, seriously, take your time, put your student IDs on your posts, on your profiles, but also like when you're posting on social media, when you're posting on Instagram, include that in the caption of your post as well, so that you can be found. If you are not happy that you aren't out of the donor queue within a certain amount of time, that'd be why. That's going to be why. Okay. All right. So I'm going right here. The other one that I see is Instagram for her. She put it on her physical profile within itself. Oh, look at you, Jade. All right, girl. She went, this is so cute. She did a wonderful job with her branding. Y'all take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this. She's very consistent with her branding. She used the highlights to her advantage. Not going to put Jade on the spot too bad right now, but Queen, I love what you did about the O2 Fancy. But just go ahead and take that time and that opportunity to change it from highlights to something else. And like, I don't know, maybe you're talking about testimonials, or maybe you're talking about videos, or you're talking about giveaways, or you're talking about, and then use your posts to your advantage. So you're laying the pavement very well I'm very happy to see that you've remained very consistent with your colors. I like the patterns that you're starting to make on your profile. You're doing well. You're doing really, really well. I'm proud of you. But anyway, yes. So these are the things that the investors that the investors are looking for. If you don't have a business plan, if you don't have an essay, if you don't get to go on a show like Shark Tank, your profiles are speaking for you. So you want to make it count every step of the way consistently. I don't care if it's been 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, get to it. Get to it. So Jay could literally sit here and like go on this post and like put videos. She's got videos up already and just start slapping that Sighience ID number, her student ID number right on the post and just basically kind of flexing her muscle, letting the investors know like, yeah, I'm here. I'm Jade. I'm worth your time, your money, your investment. I know that you don't know who I am. You may not have ever heard of my company, but give me a shot. It's basically what you're saying every time you post on social media. Okay. So I'm going to go back. Let me see what else. We also got, I see that she's been posting on Facebook. Hopefully Jade starts to post on YouTube and some of the other outlets as well, because every investor, every donor, every sponsor, they're going to have their own thing. Okay. But as you can see here, she followed the instructions. It doesn't matter how old or how young the post was. She put her student ID number on the post in addition to her other corporate hashtags. Jade understood the assignment. We expect her. She's right on pace right now to probably be at 75% by the end of this month, if not sooner, because of like what she's doing on more than one level in terms of performance. So again, if you want to know or you want to see like what the epitome of like a scientific student, a rock star, somebody that's like just jamming in the system, this will be one of those good examples. Can she improve? Yeah, absolutely. But she's coming and we're appreciative of that. But as you can see there, she's coming up on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I looked up that hashtag on Google and that is how I'm able to see everything that's going on. So this, what you see here, if I came to Facebook and put in the Sighience ID number, I can literally see wherever you've posted. If you posted in a public group, if you posted on your personal page, if you posted on a business page, wherever you might have posts, business related posts, you can attach that Sighience ID number on there. And again, start putting yourself out there. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, check out the hashtag herpanache.com. That's HERPANACHEDOTCOM. That is from my online boutique. It is just so funny because the nostalgia that I feel from looking at that.com. It's long. I spelled out the domain name, but there were posts on here from like back, from people sharing my posts, the things that we did that went viral from our marketing partners. We had like different influencers that were using our hashtags. That is how you work C376. That is how you work these different campaigns. 2,000 likes on here, but that hashtag is attached to it. So anytime someone is looking for us, it's not just about your student ID that we're looking for. You're also looking for anything that's associated with your product or service. So yeah, we talk about that in the hashtag unit quite a bit. And so as you can see here, I don't want to be too much on her her stuff, but you can see like all of the business related stuff and the different things that she submitted. I'm not entirely sure what the branded short link means. That view, who knows what Rebrandly has now these days. But again, she understood the assignment. So really quickly, I'm just going to pull up that email just so that you all can see custom, hashtag. Again, it seems simple. People think they get it, but they don't always have it. Pay attention to what we have here because the hashtags are like, we like to call it like Hansel and Gretel. You're showing them who you are and you're making it easier for them to find you. But we have tools here, all these little links right here, all hashtag, top hashtags, and click this and do that. We're showing you that for a reason. We're giving you the blueprint, but it's up to you to think outside the box and understand how to use it to your advantage. especially when we come into the group and we specifically say, hey, make sure you're using your student IDs for your posts. Make sure you're doing so and so and so. We're telling you that for a reason. It's up to you all to be able to make sure that you're implementing the different things that we're showing you. Yes, Jade, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, so let me just go ahead and refresh the screen really quickly. Hopefully I answered the questions that's revolving around the hashtags. I think that's one of the things that it seems like it's minute or minuscule, no big deal, when in fact it is. If you're not, again, if you're not getting through that donor queue quickly enough, you're not presenting yourself well enough. You're not putting out those hashtags on every YouTube page. As a matter of fact, watch this. So I tested a theory. This video, I know you all remember when I did this last week, right? Oh, you can't see it, never mind. If you go to Google right now and you pull up Sighience, the video that I recorded like not even 5 days ago is already indexing. So think about the power behind that. If you actually start presenting, doing product demonstrations, unboxing, frequently asked questions, like live sessions, different things that you can do to present yourself. Think about what that would be like if you just start putting your hashtag on there, giving that investor an opportunity to connect with you, that sponsor, that donor, to learn more about you. Maybe they came to your profile and it just didn't do it for them. But then maybe, you start getting on YouTube, or maybe you're doing reels or stories, and you start attaching that hashtag, because pay attention, because Instagram will allow you to attach hashtags to your videos and your stories as well, hint, hint. But then they're like, you know what? I like them. They have potential. Let me keep watching them. I'll give them 250, 500 right now, but I'm going to check back on them in a month and see how well they have progressed. And then maybe next time they give you 2,500 in your business shower, all because you've allowed yourself to progress and grow in that capacity and start applying the different things that we've been teaching you in the Sighience E-Learning Gran Program. So you see my videos and stuff here. You see the little funny ones we were doing with the little girl. We have some videos coming up with Elgin. Maybe we'll be able to get Jade to go ahead and start doing some videos too. I always like to provide some diversity. Jason has some videos, but he had like he had a brick wall behind him. It was looking very Dungeon-esque. No pun, Jason, I love you. We just want to make sure that we're like not scaring the students or whatever. But given that variety out there, using those hashtags, making sure we're using the right keywords in the videos and the posts that we're putting on social media, so that when someone wants to look us up, they can find us on Google or what have you, and then go from there. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let me see what's next. The short code keyword, we do get some students that have some issues with that. A couple different things that can be done. Let me just go ahead and start sharing my screen again. All right, so I'm going back to share my screen now. And then as you can see here, I'm gonna just go to the assignment, keep using Jade as an example. For this particular one, it says short code keyword. We specifically name a couple of different entities. We use Rebrandly, been using it for a while. We just recently started slowing down on the usage of it. But there's a couple of different things that you want to do with the short code keyword. Again, it may sound trivial, it may seem like it's not important, but from a branding and marketing standpoint, there is a reason why we're talking to you about these short code keywords and letting you know, hey, you need to be able to do this. Because just think about this. Imagine that you're driving down the highway and you see a billboard or a bench or a wrapped car or something, or maybe you're walking down the street and somebody has on text Sighience to 47177 or text Wolf to 47177. It makes it so much easier for that individual or even you to be able to gain access to whatever you want them to have access to by using that short code keyword. Okay, so it takes seconds less and makes it significantly easier for somebody to do 47177 Sighience or whatever that ID number is, and then get into wherever you want to place them when it comes to your drip campaign, your video, whatever you have for them. And so while it may not seem significant to you, it is really important to us on the back end. And again, once we get into marketing science, automation science, we're going to start teaching you how to use the custom short codes. And they Rebrandly used to use shared short codes, but they stopped for whatever reason. The the cell phone providers, the different carriers, and so forth, they stopped. Okay, so there are some other companies that you can use. We personally use Rebrandly for the most part. There are some other companies, as you can see here, Simple Texting, ClickSend, SMS, Slick Text, things of that nature. But having someone text you a keyword to a 7-digit, or we call them a 10 DLP, which is like a 770-555-1212 or 813-555-1212. That's too much work for that individual to get into your drip flow, and your bounce rate is actually going to be significantly higher. You also want to keep in mind that if you're using any QR codes and you give them that call to action, scan me with your smart code, your smartphone, you also want to take advantage of that opportunity to give you that short code. And for those who are sleeping on short codes, we ran a campaign, and we ran a campaign on Clubhouse. Ask Elgin, oh my goodness, I don't think Jay was around at that time. Yaya was around, but basically you would be amazed at how many opt-ins you will get if you use those short codes strategically. And for a long time, if you go look at my profile on Clubhouse, you should be able to see that we had to schedule an appointment, text appointment to 47177. To join our club on Facebook, text success to 47177. For grants, text blah, blah, blah. 1,500 leads in less than 2 weeks. Only broadcasting a couple days a week, but every time I would speak on that stage, or Elle would speak on that stage, or Yaya would speak on that stage, we would get opt-in. So you want to have that, and you want to make it easier for them to be able to take action on whatever it is that you're speaking of. Because you better believe, while you're talking, while you're doing that video, while you're wearing that shirt, while they're looking at your ad or the banner or whatever, they're looking at you, for you. They're trying to see what you have going on. But again, you want to make it as easy as possible. So from a branding and marketing standpoint, we're looking at you to see, how are you going to respond to that? How are you going to handle that? We're telling you this for a reason. Are you going to actually apply it, or are you going to be hard-headed and want to do your own thing? Okay. Now, when it comes to the short codes, okay, let me go back to it. Rebrandly changed to where it's really not Rebrandly, it's AT&T, T-Mobile, all these different companies. They changed the rules to where they no longer allow for those custom short codes. We are going to be offering a service at a later date, once we start rolling out automation science, to where you can take that keyword and use it on like a 10 DLP if you wanted to. But if you want to get your own, in which eventually you absolutely should, take that tax write-off and go ahead and get your own custom short code. Well, what you want to do, it's like $2,000 to get started, and then it's like a cost per text message. But I promise you, and you can even do it an A/B test and see for yourself. Do one campaign for like maybe 2 weeks and see what it's like if you do a 10 DLP, which is like 770-555-1212, like text success to 770-555-1212. Look at the results of that campaign, and then look at the results of text success to 54321 or 22322 or whatever your short code is, and you will see a dramatic difference. And you're also getting the phone numbers. You can do two-way texting. You can send them to a drip campaign. You can send them to a crawl. You can send them to a YouTube video. But the ultimate goal is to get them to not only take action so that you can capture their contact information, but also get them into that flow, capture their pixels, start doing retargeting. All of this is about branding and marketing and advertising, which is how you make money. So that's why it's really important for you to be able to take this seriously. Again, you can get through this particular assignment by submitting just the keyword for now, and then we'll double back on that later. But the objective is to plant seeds and to get you all to start going. There are some people that like to use community, but do know that so many celebrities and so forth have used community with that 10 DLP, that longer phone number, that people are like, oh, yeah, right. Like, they're a little reluctant now because they know that it's not going to be like that individual. So the high that we were all riding on, you know, from the 10-digit number and using community and being excited and all of that nature, it will start to count against you after a while, because people are getting used to the fact that it's not really that person's phone number. It's more like a proxy. So again, don't worry about the fees associated with it. You can always just send us the short code keyword, but you definitely want to take the time to do the due diligence. People are literally not clicking the links here that we're giving you, and we can see that. We can see that this student didn't even click. They didn't click a single thing. They didn't click nothing. They just went through it and then just you know, hit a little button down here that says complete assignment and went on about their way, and they missed the memo. They did not get that assignment. They did not get the assignment. So take your time. You're supposed to do your due diligence. You're supposed to look around to find out who is going to have the best opt-in rate, who's going to have the most user-friendly system, who's going to have the most cost-effective SMSs that goes out. Is it going to be 0.5 cent? Is it going to be 0.2 cent, 0.1 cent? Like, how much is it going to be? This is a business expense, and that's pretty darn cheap to get a lead to where you've got someone's contact information and you can follow up with them via text, especially if you have Twilio or something else like that. So again, there's purpose for this, but if you're not applying yourself, if you're not digging to these units, that's why a lot of students like kind of miss out on this one. Don't panic when you see, oh, it's $2,000. Woo, that's a big expense. You don't have to do it, but okay, reply to the email. Most students don't know that if you reply to these emails that come to you as an assignment, it's actually going to go to either a success coach or a scientist to begin with. So you can literally follow back up with your success coach and say, hey, this is what's going on. Don't give us attitude now. Don't give us attitude, but just ask questions, ask for recommendations. That's what we're here for, is to have this conversation with you instead of you just slapping anything up there or not doing the assignment at all, then getting mad because you didn't make it to the donor queue because you didn't understand the assignment. It's not for you to just sit on your hands and do nothing. It's for you to go into solution mode and figure out how to solve the air quote problem that is being presented at that point in time. So give me just 1 second. Let me just go ahead and refresh and see if there's anyone else that has any questions before I go to the next. Woo-hoo. I think, yeah, I don't see anything here, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next. Hopefully my screen is still sharing. The other one that a lot of students tend to kind of mess up on, the EIN number, that's usually pretty easy. I do want to talk about that really quickly, though. Hold on 1 second. Let me just go here. I'm going to act like I'm sending her an email. Let me just pull up the EIN template. To participate in science, you're supposed to have a valid EIN number, okay? In this course, or in this unit of the course, we talk about this for a reason, and we are actually like trying to get you to look into a couple of different things when it comes to whether or not you're going to establish your corporation as like a standard corporation, an LLC, if you're going to go like the NPO route, whichever direction you're going to go. It may seem small, but this is actually a big deal. There are students right now that are filing as LLCs that should be filing as corporations, and vice versa. And as a result of that, this is, believe it or not, one of the issues that we run into, because as like the investors or the sponsors or the donors, if they see certain things, because you know this is public information once you register, even if you use a registered agent, they can still see certain things about your company, okay? This is definitely Jade's field of genius. She can talk on this pretty extensively about like corporate structure and why you want to do these different things, but this right here is just top level. This is just top level, talking about your EIN identification number. We get students that just kind of miss the mark or miss the memo when it comes to this, and they don't fully understand, like, again, those hows and those whys. But believe it or not, Unit 12, as we talk about how to apply for the EIN number, it is such a big, all the way down to the SIC code that you use. We had a student, Monica Love, she asked us earlier this week about, well, not this week, but the past few weeks, she asked us about the SIC code, SIC code. Believe it or not, there are even some people who get into trouble or they can't qualify for loans because of, one, how they applied for their EIN number, or whether or not it was a corporation versus an LLC. And then other times their SIC code was incorrect when they like got their business name or got their corporation LLC, or when they went to go get their merchant account. So all of this plays a part. And again, we're sending you down the road, letting you know that, you know, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Like, this is a big deal, that's a big deal. Again, we can't tell you everything. We can only usher you into specific directions and then see how you're going to perform. So I hope that makes sense. That's a lighter topic. In one of these subjects, one of these units, we actually have an individual called the corporate guys. He can regurgitate that information like nothing I have ever seen. Oh my gosh, he's pretty darn awesome. Known him for like 10 years now. So he's been around for quite some time. But like I said, Jade, she's in her field of genius when it comes to that. And again, while it may seem small and trivial, no big deal, why do we have to do this? It's not that important, or I already know how to do it. Getting an EIN number is one of the easiest things. Well, is it really? Or did you just go out there and just get a random EIN number and then just took off like it was nothing? Yeah, you might have missed the assignment. So you may want to take your time and kind of lift, you know, some rocks, look under here, look under there, and see what you can find, because you never know what you could be missing when it comes to that. The next thing, I think this is the last thing that I'm going to touch on. This is going to be a shorter session today. We talked about the short, we called the hashtag. Okay, the branded short links. Okay. I get so many students that just don't want to do it. No, this is not the last one. This is the second to last one. I get so many students that just don't want to do it. Can I just use my domain? No, you can't. Well, why can't I just use my domain? Because you can end up getting blacklisted, and for campaign purposes and this and that and this and that and this and that, we have to explain, okay? All right, so Bitly, we talked about this briefly when we were live with Natasha and Nayana. Bitly has it set up to where you could actually like try to do an SMS campaign. And if you mess around and use a Bitly link, in many cases, you will end up having a really, really low response rate, because they just don't like Bitly. There's so much abuse revolving around that. So you want to be really careful when using that. And there are some things that we actually touched on in the course. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you all again. I'm going to let you see the email, because what we're seeing is that a lot of students just aren't getting the memo. They're not understanding their assignment when it comes to Bitly. Not Bitly, custom short links. We'll get people that will say specifically, don't use, like, yeah, you've heard of Google, in which, hello, Google had short links for a while. They just decided they didn't want to do them anymore. So Google's out. Like, Google's been out for a while. Yeah. But Bitly is being blacklisted on so many different outlets, not just email, not just text. If your communications includes a Bitly link, there's some really good chances that you will not be able to open it. You might get a white screen, you might get an error message, you might get a redirect. There's so many different things that comes into play. Tiny CC, they just kind of been out there. You might see them on Google. But the point is for you, listen closely, to maintain brand consistency. So it's not supposed to be a .com. It's supposed to be a .link, a .live, a dot. I'm going to log into Rebrandly in a minute, but it's supposed to be different options and different names that's different from your link or your URL, but still has some similar characters that will make the individual remember your brand. Every time you're out speaking about your product or service, you should be just keep your brand name popping in front of them every single time, over and over and over again. That is so important, all the way down to the clickable links from a brand recognition standpoint, but to also protect your website. Okay, listen to me closely. Hold on, let me turn back on my camera for this one. Listen to me closely. I did not know this 4 years ago, that Facebook can just decide that they don't want anyone to come to your website anymore. Okay. If you are running a campaign and maybe you have brand ambassadors, or maybe you're really aggressive with putting your information out there on different types of social media outlets, and maybe you have a hater, maybe you have somebody who is just jealous of you, they don't want to see you win, maybe they are a competitor, anyone can come and report your link. And if they come and report your link, they're really unapologetic about that. And that's what happened to me. Okay, I had a client, we're working a campaign, thumping. I mean, the campaign was, whoo, I had a really good time building that campaign. It was doing so well. Well, what happened was we learned the hard way that Facebook actually has issues with certain charitable causes that many people tend to support. I don't know what's up with the rival or whatever the case may be. But what ended up happening was Facebook decided that they didn't like us having that link on our website, and they would not tell us why. We had to really, really dig and go all the way up to legal to find out why. But longer story short, they burned that domain. So anytime we wanted to share it in our chat bots, anytime we wanted to post it on our pages, anytime we wanted to post it in a group, we couldn't post it anywhere. Okay. For one, it would like send an error message and say like this website had malicious or it goes against our community standards and it's not safe. Like we actually had to call them on it because it's like, you're just misrepresenting us. This is borderline defamation, the way you all have elected to handle this type of situation. And so, but they did what they wanted to do. So at first they took it off the blacklist. Then they came back and put it back on the blacklist. Okay. But then they got really smart to where it got to a point to where we couldn't even send a link. We couldn't even use it in our posts. And once you get into marketing science, or you catch one of the sessions where I'm going to be talking about how to use your marketing, every time you post, you should always have your domain name in your post. You should always have a CTA to your bot in your post. You should always have your corporate hashtags, your campaign hashtags, and in your instance, your student hashtags should always be in your business related posts every single time. Don't you miss that shot. Don't you miss that shot. You want to include that. But guess what? If Facebook is blocking your links and not allowing your post to show, or they're ghosting your post, or hiding your post, they got different terms for it. But a lot of times they'll even let you post and you're wondering, why am I not getting engagement? It's a good possibility that Facebook decided that they don't like your link and they don't want to allow you to post. Whereas if you are taking the time to actually use a branded short link, link, live, whatever, I'm going to show y'all in a second, but all these different extensions, you have a better chance of kind of like going underneath the radar to, heaven forbid, if that link gets burned. It's a $2.99 link for a whole dang on year. So it's like, okay, well, I'll just go get another one. But if you don't do that on the front end and you're using your .com, you got one shot. You got one shot. Same thing with the cell phone carrier, an email carrier, an ISP. If you're going through the system and you're using these different these different links, and maybe somebody reported you as spam, okay? And maybe 5 people did it, 10 people. I don't know what the metrics are. But if you get too many spam reports, the ISP or like the cell phone carrier, they will block your link as well. Guess what? You're burned. So now you got to go and figure out a domain name that works. If you're going to burn your main corporate email or your corporate domain name, what's the point of being in business? What's the point of maintaining your brand? It doesn't make sense, because now you can't even post your website to get the traffic to come to it. So then how are you generating revenue? Again, it seems small and trivial, but I promise you there's a purpose, and there are different things that we're looking at from a long-term standpoint. You may not be using them now, it may not seem significant now, but it does later. And we're looking to see how well your foundation has been set. What are you doing to protect and to build your brand so that you can continue to generate revenue? Google is a little tight with that too, but they're a lot more lenient than Facebook. If you happen to have a malicious code in your website, we've dealt with that before too, especially with WordPress sites or whatever. If you end up, heaven forbid, getting hacked, okay? Or maybe you're using a website builder that has code in it that Google systems can recognize, and they don't like it because maybe in the past they had issues, okay? Well, then what you put yourself in danger of having to experience is Google saying, you ever been to a website and a big red screen comes up and they say you're in the danger zone or something similar, and you have to push special buttons to go ahead and move past it? At least Google will give you a chance to fix it. They'll say, hey, you have malicious code on your website. You need to find it. And when you find it, let us know. We'll check it. And if all is well, we'll put your website back up there. But they will literally hide your website. You could be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on social media ad campaigns and wondering why you're not getting clicks. Your link probably has been burned. Your corporate domain link has most likely been burned. So these are the different things that comes into play. Again, it may not seem significant. It may not seem important, but it is, okay? So just gotta kind of trust us on that when it comes to it. And please don't argue, Lord have mercy. But let me just go ahead and try to pop in and show you Rebrandly really quickly. I got 9%, y'all. Hopefully I can get through this and then we can move on and close this thing out for the day. But yeah, so we talk about Tiny CC and Rebrandly. We talk about the different benefits of having it. If we got to tell you, like, we don't want to tell you, we want you to learn. We want you to explore. We want you to feel your way through that so you can figure out how to navigate through that process, okay? You can use a bio link tool like Linktree. We do get students that will try to, well, I got a Linktree. It's not your brand. It's Linktree's brand. And unless they're paying you for every time somebody clicks your link, you're giving away money. It's just business. And you definitely want to make sure that, okay, yeah, you have your little Linktree link, put it behind your custom short link so that you're always representing your brand, you're protecting your corporate domain, and so forth, okay? All right, so going to Rebrandly really quickly. I use Rebrandly all the time. If you have been on our website, you probably will see it'll have like science.link/info, science.link/dex. Did I forget to mention that it's significantly easier for you to change your link on the back end? Let me tell you a real quick story. We did a direct mail campaign. It was over 5,000 pieces that went out. With the direct mail campaign, it actually had a QR code on it. Something happened with the link changed. Having a custom short link enabled us to be able to go into our links like this and change the link behind the scenes and never interrupting our campaign. Had it not been for that, we could have stood to lost a ton of money because we did not use a branded short link or a custom short link on the back end that enables us to go in right now and then edit it. So if I go right here, this is Rebrandly that we're looking at right now. If I go in here, I can see who clicked it, where they were when they clicked it, how many are unique, how many are repeats, what's the heaviest day. These are, listen to me, these are metrics that some of these investors will want to see. They want to see, what do you know? What's your peak days? What's your peak times? What apps are they using? If you can't answer these questions, you got problems. And yes, while Bitly and so forth has that, it's still, again, it doesn't solve the problem with people being blacklisted or links being blacklisted and not going through, being throttled, being hidden. Okay, but then you also don't have that brand recognition that's super important, especially when you're just starting out. You want your name in front of your prospective clients at all time, from the hashtags, from the domains, to the course of the custom short links, to your brand colors, every single time. Google didn't get to be Google. You can see that those Google colors and you know that's Google. A 2-year-old can see those golden arches and they know that's McDonald's. Same type of situation. So you just have to really think about that and trust us when we're saying go ahead and go get that custom short link. But yeah, so these are some of the things that you get with the custom short link. It can go even deeper than this, but just not right now. I'm not going to go too deep on that. But if you go on here, and as you can see on this account, I have 65 links. I have some accounts, I have over 300 links for all different types of campaigns. This stuff is on t-shirts, on flyers, on billboards, on pitch decks. They're all over the place. From being scanned from a QR code or maybe delivered via email or delivered via like a custom short code campaign or whatever the case may be. But where the students are really going wrong with this is they're not really picking a link that matches their brand. So one of the easiest things that you can do, it shouldn't have ended, Jade. No, it's still live. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, anyway, with the Rebrandly links, you can, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. One of the easiest things to do when you're trying to go get a domain from Rebrandly, they're normally like $2.99 for the whole year, sometimes $14, sometimes $7. But you want to go to Rebrandly. Don't go to Dynadot. Don't go to, I mean, it's a whole different functionality. Don't go to Dynadot. Don't go to GoDaddy. Don't go to wherever you got your domain. Go to Rebrandly and acquire your link. And so basically what you would want to do is when you're trying to pick your domains or you want to find out like which way you want to go, hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna have to come all the way out. Let me just go. I'm gonna go to Rebrandly on top level because I'm already logged in. But you can go here and you have a link shortener. What a lot of students are doing, we set a custom short link, which means that it's supposed to reflect your brand. They're just going, grabbing a link, slapping it in this URL shortener, and then just leaving it there. When in actuality, what you're supposed to be doing is actually purchasing a domain, okay? So what you would want to do, I got 5%. What you would want to do is take your time and think about your domain. So let's just say, using J for example, again, O2 Fancy. We could literally say, okay, we want to call it fancy.link or O2F.link. The trick is to make it as short as possible, still recognizable for your brand, but then also something that does not end in a .com. I don't know what's going on with this computer. I'm trying to, okay, there it is. So you see right here, I clicked the domain tab and then I said register a new custom domain. I'm going to try to pick something. I'm going to do fancy. And when you start typing, it's already going to grab, like start to generate them. And so as you can see here, it's fancy.com. Again, you don't, Rebrandly is not for that. It's not about you getting a .com. It's about having an alternative link. So .click, .click, my bad, .link, .live, .news, .this, .that. You want it short. You don't want it really long because you also have to remember that the longer it is, the more characters you use. So that's why you want it pretty short. But as you can see, these $2 custom short codes, $2 to be able to save your domain, to be able to protect your brand, to be able to build awareness. I mean, to be able to get the metrics that you need, like there's good purpose here. So as you can see here, using that example, Fancy's taken. So you got to get creative. Her company was called O2 Fancy. I might do O2F. All right. O2F, O2F.click, O2F.link, O2F.live. All of those are available. So hint, hint, if you happen to find something that has not been taken, you might want to go and run it up. Every time I come on here, I'll go grab like 10 of them. I'll just do like .rocks, .app, .live, .link, .this, and I'll use them for different campaigns because this is digital real estate. Okay, this is digital real estate. You need this. It's not going to kill you to get these domains. It is usually a tax write-off because it's a part of a business or a marketing expense. But as you can see, that dot, all the dot and these different names, they're there for you. So it's just a matter of you thinking about how to represent your brand, but also protect your corporate, your main domain name as well. So for this one, I could have did o2f.link because it still is similar. Sometimes I'll do science. I can use science for an example if I could. I think like psychology, you could do like psych, PSYCH .link or something and see if that's available. And see, they're smart. Somebody went and swept all of these domains and snatched the vast majority of them up. So psych doesn't work. You might do psycho. That's going to probably hurt your domain, but I'm just giving it to you as an example of the different things that you can use to be able to still represent your brand. So again, it's not hard to be able to do it. Follow the prompts. Rebrandly is usually really responsive. A good practice is when you are trying different keywords and you know, try this shortened version or try this variation or try this blend to grab your domains, just go ahead and add them to the cart. Just add them to the cart as you're doing it, just to make sure that you don't lose their link. Because there have been times where I thought about it and I liked that one, but I figured maybe I would find something better. And then I will go, you know, I couldn't get my way back to it. And then I'm like lost and I couldn't find domain and I just, yeah, I dropped the bag. Okay, so don't do me. Don't do what I did, please. But yeah, you want to take it, just tap that buy now button. You can go back and you can adjust the cart later. But for now, it's not going to kill you to go ahead and grab that digital real estate associated with your brand, because you never know when one of your links are going to get burned. And you also want to make sure that you have something to fall back on for different campaigns. And again, in marketing science, we're going to explain to you how, like, why you would use a .link versus a .online versus a .live versus a .click. There's a purpose. Those are different campaigns. Your .live would obviously be for like your YouTube videos or your podcast. Okay, maybe your Clubhouse. Maybe you want to catalog your Clubhouse sessions. They have a new feature to where they're allowing you to be able to share your Clubhouse videos, your Clubhouse sessions. So if you're doing that, then you can start to, you could do .link / the date that you went live or something like that real quick. And they actually even have like a little template. It's like a little plugin that you can have on your phones to create short links on the fly as well. So enough about Rebrandly. I think that should help answer some questions. If not, please feel free to type in the comments below. I'll go ahead and answer those questions for you. I got 3%, so I got to hurry up. The last thing that I want to touch on is this social media. Listen, it's digital real estate. It's digital real estate. I'm not trying to sound mean. Hold on. Let me see. I want y'all to see my face. Okay. It doesn't matter if you think it's important. It doesn't matter if you think you're going to use it. You will see me talk about this time and time again. It matters to them. There are domain squatters. There are social media squatters who will see that your brand is doing well and you're starting to thump and you're getting good traffic and good Google visibility, and they'll just go and steal your social media domain. Whether you're using it now, in which you should, they got Hootsuite and IFTTT and all these different companies or these different programs out there that are designed to help you with those processes that you can consider so that you don't have to post in all places. But what successful entrepreneur you know is lazy? It's marketing. It's a full-time job. Okay, and until you can afford to hire a team, you're gonna have this there for you. Okay, but again, when it comes to that digital real estate, you want to solidify that. You want to snatch that up like yesterday. You want to grab it even if you don't think you need it, because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You cannot dial back. Ask Philip. He's somebody else domain. They want to charge $10,000. I have been through it, $2,500, because I dropped the bag. I fumbled the bag when it came to that, and there was nothing I could do about it. I had to deal with it. Grab your social media, your digital real estate ASAP, because it's valuable. That's your brand. That's your baby. Don't play with your baby. Don't let anybody claim your baby but you. So go ahead and you get those social media uh, assignments. I'm going to show you what the email looks like really quickly, and pray we can get through this before we get cut off. Come on, come on, come on. Social media. All right, so right here, this is social media. This is the email that comes out. We talk about all the different outlets that are available to you. We literally give you links. Made it stupid easy. Click it, create the profile, maintain brand consistency. Your social media handle should literally be the same on every single website. Every single website out there, it should be the same. People should use one name and they should be able to find you everywhere. And if you find that it's not available, that's something for you to create. Pause and say, hold on, do I really want to use this type of handle, or do I want to use a variation? Please don't try to cheat the system and put like an underscore or a dash in between, because the person who has the real version is going to steal your business. They're going to take your business and run with it. So again, don't play with your brand, okay? So I know I got a little long-winded. I've been going on for about an hour and a half, but I wanted to really take some time to do a deep dive and talk about this. Yes, this is in your unit. I just want to make sure for the course that you do understand your assignment. Take it seriously. It's not about what you think that's important, because you don't know what you don't know, but we do. And so, yeah, please take your time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to go, but thank you so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. I hope that I was able to answer some questions for you. I'll be sticking around to continue, but this has been a Sighientific Conversations, and we're asking about whether or not you really understood the assignment. Much love to you. We're still excited about your future, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.